Are you thinking about moving to Sudbury, Massachusetts? Are you looking for a local expert that can help you understand the nuances of what it's like to live in Sudbury? Well, I am a realtor based in Wellesley, which is part of the Metro West area, as is Sudbury. And I'm going to share in this video lots of things to know about moving to and living in Sudbury. We're going to talk about schools, take a look at a snapshot of real estate news, and talk about things to do and share some historic information. I'm Jane. I'm a realtor based in Wellesley, Massachusetts, and each week I put out a new video highlighting a different community or share some data about what's happening in the real estate market and what you as a buyer can expect as you relocate from maybe locally or another part of the country. So let's talk about Sudbury. So if someone comes to me and says, Jane, I want an acre or 2 or 3, I want quiet, I want a nice community with strong schools, but I'd like just to hear crickets at night, then I'm going to say, let's go look at Sudbury. It's a beautiful town. It has small but historically significant town center. There's markers from the Revolutionary War, and in April of 1775, soldiers marched from Sudbury to Concord to the bridge, where you may recall from a previous video that the Minutemen beat Redcoats and after losing in Lexington. So history is so important to Sudbury that they actually have the highly desirable zip code of 1776. So that's just a nod to their participation in our revolutionary history. Another fun fact about Sudbury is it is the home of the Wayside Inn. There's a book of poetry, The Tales of the Wayside Inn by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, that is based on this inn. So years ago, before I got married, my sister-in-law had her wedding there, and it was just beautiful, and you really feel like you're in colonial New England. So check it out. And they have a nice brunch. So where is Sudbury? So Sudbury is pretty much directly west of Boston. So Route 95 and the Pike cut through Weston, and you can commute there sometimes in 20-25 minutes. So then you're going to go meander off along Route 20 to get to Sudbury Center. Now there are areas in other parts of Sudbury that have a little more retail and a couple more restaurants, so it's not quite as sleepy as it used to be. And you're going to be surrounded by Concord, Wayland and Weston, Framingham, where there's lots of shopping and fabulous malls. Marlborough, you're getting kind of way out more really west of, like technically not even Metro West. So I would say Sudbury is kind of the edge of what I consider Metro West Boston. Sudbury's public schools are excellent. They are always in the top 10-15 rated school systems in Greater Boston. And niche.com gives them an A+ rating, and they actually share a regional high school with Lincoln. So I guess that's another rebutter I forgot to mention. Lincoln, which is a really pretty town. Larger lots, zoning for more acres, really pretty historic. And again, people who are looking for a bedroom community that they can get to Boston, maybe they're commuting out to 495, but looking for excellent schools and solid neighborhoods. One thing to keep in mind when you're comparing these different towns like Weston, Wayland, Sherborne, or Sudbury, some of them do not have a lot of commercial income. So the tax rates vary by town. So in these towns, some of the tax rates on your real estate can be quite high. So Sudbury is one of those towns. So I always say, like, you're not always comparing apples to apples, but what you'll see is that the home prices are higher when the tax rate is lower, and the reverse is also true. So you got to pick your poison. Do you want to pay more taxes, or do you want to pay a bigger mortgage? So as I mentioned, there is starting to be a little bit more retail. There's some strip malls that sounds too lowbrow. There's little outside mall developments, but I wouldn't call them a strip mall. And there's also some beautiful places to hike. One of my favorites, we used to take our kids all the time when they were little, was Great Meadows, which is a national wildlife preserve, and there was a boardwalk, and we would hike and find and bird watch, and we used to go there year round. So check that one out. And Assabet is another really pretty one along the river. So let's talk about real estate. So again, here we are in January of 2024, and there is very little inventory. There's very few available homes for buyers to look at right now. So we're all hoping that we'll see more inventory coming on. This has been a problem since the pandemic. And if the mortgage rates come down a little bit, which they're supposed to do, then that might ease things up and make it a little more balanced. But as you're looking at homes, sometimes I recommend to buyers that you look a little bit lower in the price that you are targeting, because if you're competing with multiple offers, you might have to go over asking to get a house. But feel free to call me if you want to chat about what your situation is and if that might look like for you and your family. But in general, homes in great condition that are priced well are selling very quickly. In December 2023, the median listing price was $1.2 million and the average sold price was just under $900,000. And right now there's 25 homes for sale, but a lot of those are more expensive homes. Interestingly, because you do see longer days on market. So the average days on market in December was 70. So it's kind of a lot. Now, generally in New England, the fourth quarter between Labor Day and Christmas is the quietest time of year. That's when prices are softest. So it's interesting that the days on market was up, but still, homes in great condition that were well priced did move, even in December. So one thing to think about, if you're looking for a lot of acreage and a larger home in a development, we do have a fair amount of those to see in Sudbury, like plenty built in the 90s and then some newer construction. So lots of different, I would say that skews towards larger homes, but then there's a fair amount of smaller homes, not a lot of condos or developments like that. So if you're thinking about moving to Sudbury, give me a call and let's get the conversation started. Just to give you some idea of what we would do first we would chat on the phone and I would get a sense of what you were looking for, make sure you were approved by a lender, and then I would talk about your wants and needs to make sure that I'm finding houses for you to look at that meet your criteria and that will please you aesthetically. And then the next part is we can share offers with each other or share listings with each other to get an idea of what's out there. And then if you're scheduling a trip to go home shopping, I'm going to block out my whole weekend. I'm going to drive you around, show you everything I can. And I will, in the meantime, also keep beating the bushes to find homes that might be coming on the market, or perhaps they're not being publicly marketed, but they're available. That's been a new trend we've seen too. So if you have any questions or thoughts, please leave me a message in the comments. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.